everybody.
You know what time it is.
Boom shakalaka! All right.
It just never gets old. I get a kick out of that every time.
Oh,
That's
Zion
right.
is perfecting it.
Yes.
Zion is perfecting it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday. You made it. This is it. This is where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this day since last Friday.
I know that's right. It's a party every time. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to Ms. Rocki and Chaveevah's North End Update Live, because there's always something good
Going on the North End.
Yes.
And everywhere else in the Cedar Valley. For real, yes.
That's right. We got the beautiful Felicia Smith Knowles.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
Yes, yes. And she's so cute. She's so pretty.
And so full of energy.
I know, you're
I'm
so
bouncing
energetic.
between all of you guys' energy, so I'm in the middle about to explode.
Yes, Mayor Hart is our actual co-host, but since they make us run on time around here, Ed ain't playing back there, is he?
No,
He'll put
because
that
when
music on.
That's right. When it's time to get up out of here, it's time to get up out of here. So he said, hey, get it moving right now.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm sure you work down here at City Hall.
Yes,
right?
I work across the street.
Oh,
Neighborhood
okay.
services.
Oh, at the courthouse.
No, I'm in the old library.
Oh,
Library, yeah.
okay.
Carnegie Building.
Okay,
Okay.
well, thank you for
A little
making your way
history
over
piece.
here.
There you go.
Yeah. And usually the mayor is here, but what I'm saying is I think that he's probably putting out some fires somewhere, saving the city.
He's a busy man. Like, there's a lot of things that go into making Waterloo run. So I'm sure that there's something that he has his mayor cape on.
I'm sure.
And is flying to the scene.
And honestly, every time he shows up, I'm really appreciative because I know I can't even imagine what his job includes. And he always makes time for us at this time. And so if he's a little bit late, we are certainly not going to complain. We love you. We're not going to say nothing.
Right.
No.
Not like we did the first time. I kind of threw him under the bus. I'm like, where you been? How come you wasn't here for the boom shakalaka? But anyway, we'll get over it, Mayor.
Yeah. And we could still move right ahead and kind of recap last week's show.
Yes.
You know?
Did you watch last week?
I saw a snippet.
Okay. That's
Snippet is
enough.
good.
A snippet?
Well,
I
sometimes-
gotta do a lot of stuff.
That's
You
right.
are a
Yeah,
wife
you
and a
very,
mother
Yep, a
and
very,
a-
very busy person, too.
planning all this fancy stuff. Yeah. But we had William Burt.
Yeah, from Cut
With
Kings.
the Cut Kings.
That's right. He was talking about that. As a matter of fact, we have an update where that's concerned. We posted it on our wall where he got an update from Senator Dan Zumbach, who let him know that the bill, concerning his, is scheduled for debate on the floor and that there's not resistance to it. So things are looking
That's incredible.
super, super good. Yeah.
And yeah, that is good. That was very, very encouraging to know. I mean, it wasn't because he was on our show.
Oh, no. That
Or
was
was
already.
it?
Hey, look who just joined us.
There he
Wow.
is. He missed the boom shakalaka.
That was great,
Oh
Kat.
my goodness.
Well, at
Yes.
least you guys know who I am, so I'm good.
Right.
You know who I am, and won't.
Yes.
I mean, he
We
could have said
recognize you.
Denzel or somebody. He said Kevin Hart.
Oh my. Okay. And then did you watch last week's show?
Yeah, just remind.
They don't play with the on the spot.
Right.
I read my Soul Town.
Did you? Oh, he knew he had his
Hey.
homework to do for
There
that.
you go.
Yes. But we had Cut Kings and we had Eric Dunat on our
Okay,
show. and
okay.
I'm sure you're
I do
familiar
remember
with him.
seeing that online.
Yeah. So it was a great show last week. And today we have Felicia.
Oh my God. The
Oh, really?
Felicia.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And we also have Benjamin.
Yes.
Benjamin Smith.
Yes, from
And-
Iodine Art. He's going to talk
He's
to
an
us about
artiste.
Awesome,
Yes.
The
awesome
artist.
artist.
Yes.
Yes.
And he brought some of his work too.
That's right.
And we
Incredible.
have Justin Brandt, who works with
The Hail Mary Project, yes.
So we're
JB.
going to talk about
Looking forward to hearing more about that too. Yeah.
Yes. But we always kind of wanted to ask you a couple things, Mayor.
Oh, we ain't finna talk about that. I ain't finna talk about that.
Not yet.
Okay.
That's coming up. But.
So no, we were just gonna ask you. Our show. We always say that we talk about good things that are happening in Waterloo and the entire Cedar Valley and worldwide and all of that good stuff. But we do it from a North End perspective.
Right.
So, kind of from a North End perspective, we kind of introduce phrases like, we ain't finna talk about that, that kind of thing. And basically because a lot of the black culture comes from the South, and there are things that probably in your household, my household, and your household that gets said that you don't say around other people. It's kind of like being bilingual. So,
African American Vernacular English. For anybody who doesn't know, AAVE, African American Vernacular English.
So just for fun, we thought we would put you on the spot.
It's never happened before.
Of course not on our
even
show.
earlier today.
Okay, are there phrases or things that you know that you have gotten passed down through the generations from your family that probably came from the South?
Okay.
I have one that my parents have always said. My dad always used to say, if I didn't want my food or if I didn't finish my plate, he'd be like, you don't want that corn bit more than nothing.
Or your eyes bigger than your belly.
Right, or your eyes are bigger than your belly, or, just the things that, just little cliches that, might be said. Can you think of any that have come down?
I don't know if it's from the South, but I will say there was one growing up on Beach Street, and my brother and all those folks used to say it, and they said, be yourself and you'll be cool.
Oh.
And so it never really dawned on until I got, you can try to be a lot of other things or this or that, but the best thing you can do and the coolest thing you can do is be your unique self. So be yourself and you'll be cool.
Now that's a good one to
like
stick
that.
to. Yes.
What about you, Felicia? Anything come to mind?
That's appropriate? No.
Okay.
Nothing inappropriate here.
No, but like some of those turns of phrase, it's funny because I didn't realize how many things were cultural until I had married someone that had a German mother.
Oh.
And so sometimes when that turn of phrase wasn't right, I'd be like, one in the hand and two in the pot. And I was like, oh no, those are two different things.
Right.
Like a bird in the hand, two in the versus a pot
bush,
calling the
those
kettle
kinds of
black.
things.
But she would get mad and take those turns of phrase. My mother always said that I don't think that fat means you're
Fat
greasy.
fat
And that was like,
right.
oh, you just
Now
don't think. Like, you just don't think. And it
That's
wasn't until
right.
I was grown that I actually understood the entire sentence. But I was like, why did she always say that right then? And now I was like, oh.
I got two.
Okay.
I
You
got one from
yours
my mother.
is hilarious.
One from both of them are to me. One from my mother and one from my father. The one from my mother is "Am beats Nan."
Oh,
I've never heard
Am beats Nan. That means if any little something is better than nothing at all.
something's better than
okay.
nothing.
That's that one. That's deep.
That's
right
way
there.
deep.
But my father, this one, his relationship advice, like if you were maybe my brother or whomever, he was talking to a young man that might be kind of scared to step to a young lady and speak to her, and my father would tell him, "You can't eat the hog's head if you're scared of his eye."
It's all about that hog, right?
You can't eat the hog's head if you're scared of his eye.
Okay.
So,
I may take that one.
What about you have to be twice as good?
That
You
one
ever
too.
remember that?
Oh,
If you're
as
going
a
to do
female,
something as African American, you have to be twice as good.
to be considered
Yep.
half as good.
Half is worthy, yeah.
Half as worthy, yeah.
Oh, it's one. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurt you.
Oh, that one. Oh, everybody knows that one.
No.
Yes. Well, that was just for fun. Yes, Diane.
Zion, do we have any comments, Zion?
Yes. Chastity Martin says, it is such a great gift to have such a faithful and committed young man each week to help you help with this awesome show. Proud of you, Zion. I pray this opens doors for your future.
Oh,
How much did you pay her to say that?
Look, Mark thought they were talking about him.
Beth Townsend says, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi,
Wow.
Beth.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Lori Dale says, boom shakalaka, what a wonderful panel.
Oh, hey,
shakalaka.
Hey,
Beth.
Lori.
Boom.
Will Frost says, don't let your mouth write a check. Your
Sure.
butt can't.
There you go. That's one.
Yes.
That's definitely a good one.
Chastity Martin says, Brian's mom always says, every dollar ain't for you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Brian,
Okay.
yes, his
No,
mother,
yeah, my
yes.
bad.
Every that's right. That's right. Okay, we got a lot of things that we did talk about.
Yes,
There's
we
so much
did.
going on in the news.
Oh, man.
What? Have you heard the latest about the government shutdown? Let's get political.
Yeah,
I mean, not the
Yeah.
shutdown, but the
Oh.
what is it? The national emergency
the
today.
national emergency. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what's going on today. And then El Chapo.
Yep, El Chapo. Joaquin Guzman. Okay, he was found guilty of trafficking cocaine,
Well,
Heroin.
Yeah, I didn't say.
methamphetamine.
I ain't say that.
Okay.
He probably looking.
oh, man.
Okay. And then Colin Kaepernick's home state of Wisconsin has cut him off from their Black History Month list.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know,
his home state.
You have a famous person from your state, and you're doing a Black History Month proclamation, and you're not going to pass it because his name until you take his name off. So
But he's famous. But guess what?
we
ain't
finna talk about
that. No, we are not.
Because we always talk about the good stuff.
That's right.
Like Mayor Hart being here.
Yes.
And not being too late.
Okay.
No, not late at all.
Yes, and we're also going to talk about our awesome guests. We have
Yes.
Justin Brandt and Benjamin Smith, and they're going to tell us all about the things that they're involved with in just a few minutes.
Yes.
What else we going to talk about?
The Jesse Cosby Gala. Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
You did. No, I didn't see you. I would have seen you if you were there.
Yes, but I heard it was amazing,
It
and I heard that
was.
there was a dramatic interpretation that blew people away.
Yes,
Oh, yes,
Pastor
that young
Joe
man. You
Greenwood.
weren't there either, were
Yeah.
I
you?
wasn't. I was out of town.
I
He
heard
did a
he did.
one-man show
Oh.
where he portrayed Jesse Cosby.
Yes.
And it
Oh,
was
wow.
really, it was nice.
He did. We shared some photos. And of course, the most capable MC, Deb Berry, was
Yes,
there looking
absolutely.
gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the East High girls basketball team, or is it West? I know
Both
you're
of them
there.
are.
Both of 'em.
Okay.
Both of them made it past first
Yes.
round.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
both won.
wow.
Like
Awesome.
Waterloo girls basketball is doing big things. Both teams are
Absolutely. Keep up the good work.
That's
Go-
right.
Right.
going on to round 2, which is played tomorrow.
Right.
All right. And we heard Karis Roberts scored 26 points.
Nice.
So,
Yes.
yes.
And Brooklyn had 12. I just want to say that.
Oh,
she was
yeah.
one of the leading
Oh,
scorers, too.
yes.
My little niece, Brooklyn Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
All right, we want to shout out our crew as we always do.
Yes.
Yes, WCT crew, that's Ed, Mark, and Zion.
Of
Yes.
course. And thank you guys so much for doing what you do. You make us all look good.
That's right.
Right. Well, I think, Felicia, I think your time is up.
Alrighty, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you Friday. It's going to be an amazing thing for Waterloo. It's a free night. Bring your friends, your
that
family.
this
Next Friday.
Next
Okay,
Friday.
next Friday,
Yeah.
right. You had me worried there because this, next Friday. Today
Next
is Friday.
You're there. It's going to be amazing. Come support your young people, your older people. Our history is Waterloo history.
That's
Black
right.
history is our history. It's
that's
one
right.
thing. We're super excited. Our mayor's going to be bringing some words. It's going to be an amazing night, an amazing day. It's free. I hope to see you all there.
Exactly. Me
All
too.
right.
Don't miss it. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much,
Right.
Felicia.
Thank
I don't
you,
need the
Felicia.
full shot of you.
Yay!
So it's
Oh,
slide.
doesn't matter.
I didn't know how I could
And
make
we
that
get to
happen.
trade
I-
this over here now. This
Musical
is how
chairs.
we roll musical
Yes.
chairs
That's
because
right. We do it like how we want to. How about that?
that's right. And so now, there you're in the hot seat. Now we can really get to you.
All right. Is this my grape juice?
It is. It's cranberry, actually.
Okay. I appreciate it.
So, yeah, Mayor Hart, we're so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. Believe me.
Yes, indeed. We're going to actually introduce our guests now. And you probably know both of them, don't
do.
you? You do. So now he's got the
my
drum
drum
roll
roll.
rolling. I love it. we have Chaveevah. You do the honors. You're so good at introducing. I'll help you.
Yes, we'd like to right now welcome Justin Brandt from the Hail Mary Project and also Benjamin Smith of Iodine.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to finally meet you guys.
It's
Pleasure
a
to meet you.
blessing to meet you. Yes. Thank
Have
you
you
for
two met
being
each other?
here.
Yeah,
Have
actually,
you
Alright.
two met?
me and Benjamin go way back
Oh,
to the
really?
days of when we worked at Quick Start a few years ago.
Oh, how
Yeah.
about
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
And now look at you. And are you a student now too? You go to
Yep.
UNI and a police officer.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
isn't it great the way things
Yeah.
kind of working out for you?
Right?
Way back like Cadillac. See, I can't stop using cliches now, so it's gonna be a cliche a minute.
Okay. Well, you know we always got to put you on the spot, Chaveevah,
Oh, yes, absolutely.
and you always hide that soul down.
grape juice.
Almost.
Don't
Is that
drink.
yours? Is that
Yes.
yours?
There was
Oh,
both-
man.
We
should have
assumed
had
that you
one
were
of
working.
Don't worry. No. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Zion, our cards. Soul Town. Seriously, Chaveevah?
Oh, well, see,
We have to
anyway.
ask you guys,
Yes.
do you subscribe,
To-
Justin, to the
Soul
Town?
Town.
I don't.
What?
How can I?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I come with the right questions.
Yes,
All
okay,
right.
great. And do you?
I do not actually.
You've heard
But
of it? Have
yes,
you heard about
I'm
it?
working to get on there.
Okay.
But I never asked to get on
Okay.
something. I try to work hard enough to where it makes you want me to get on there.
Oh,
Well,
I
you know,
love it.
you, I won't say demand, but you also got to put out the feelers too. Like, hey, Miss Chill,
Yeah,
do
she
you
love
have
to have
an
it.
artistic expression page or where I can highlight art in all those areas? So, oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're right.
I'm sorry. Wait, is that?
Oh, she's an artist, everybody.
Subliminally, I just did.
No,
Yeah,
but I just wanted to quickly say that it's both a print and a digital production. And this is last month's
Well, it's
edition.
this month and last month. I think.
This month and last month, yes. But there's a new edition that just came out that's digital, that had some really awesome articles in it. There was something, there's a new writer in there,
Okay.
a fine as wine connoisseur
Oh.
named Daniela Velasquez. And she talked about wine having a soul,
Oh, how about that?
which I thought was, interesting concept. And so I would
Yes.
love to see her, Daniela, give us some suggestions, make some
Sure.
recommendations about good things. But not only that, there was articles about, oh man, black student unions at UNI and also at Wartburg, all kinds of things. So, just get it. You can read it online, you can get a hard copy. A lot of people like to be able to turn pages.
And I think you can go to Earth's Beauty Supply on Franklin Street, Tri-City Clothing, and you can also go to the soultown.com or contact Chillin directly at 319-505-4020.
That's
That's right. TheSoulTown.com. Get your digital copy today. And, or, like he said, put your feet on the pavement and go to Earth's or
Yeah.
Tri-City. So now, you guys got your homework to do.
Stack it on.
Yes, indeed. We got some birthdays we'd like to have you sing a little bit before we start talking, okay? You like to sing?
If I'd have known that, I would have brought my guitar.
You play too?
Just a little bit.
Oh, wow.
It's just a little bit.
All
A
right.
little bit like
Probably has a
Ron
whole
Burgundy.
studio at home.
Because we sing just a little bit, so.
Exactly,
Just a little
exactly.
bit.
We would like to say happy birthday to Gina Weekly, Fassel Williams, Horace Corey, Greg Ferguson, Lonnie Davis.
Okay. Carol.
No?
Carol Taylor Stanford Conway, happy birthday. Gwinnett Culpepper, Nicole Gunther, Shantoya Day, and Krista Robinson Lacey.
Yes.
And Sally Preby, Mark Olson, Kelly Conrad, Randy Fox, and
Danikia,
Danikia Day Brown. That's what I was going to say.
that's my little play cousin. Hey,
Oh,
Day
play cousin, love you like a play cousin.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
now
my
we
brother.
get to see your brother,
James.
Oh.
Let's see, February 10th.
James Hart. Oh, well, happy
Lipsy,
birthday,
Lipsy.
James
Happy
Lipsy.
belated.
That's right.
Happy belated.
Happy belated birthday.
I forgot to call
All
him.
right. Well, you should call him. Jeez, his brother. Okay. And we like to see the Stevie Wonder version, and it goes something like this. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. All right. You could have pretended like you was strumming.
Yeah, a little nervous just there.
Not good on the spot, apparently. Thought I was better than that.
Okay. So we have Justin Brandt, and you do the Hail Mary Project. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that get started, and what exactly is it?
It is a juvenile delinquency / gang prevention program model, and so I've been operational for about a year now. The idea came about probably about 3 years ago when I kind of got tired of going into poverty-stricken homes night after night and seeing the violence and the dysfunction in every house, in the neighborhoods, the community violence, and then hearing, people I know from Cedar Falls and from smaller towns talk about being so afraid to come to Waterloo. And so having lived here for the majority of my life, I knew the truth that these aren't random acts. It's more or less concentrated, targeted incidents among gang members or pseudo gang members. And my thing was, I know you guys are probably scared to come to town, but you shouldn't be. And so I started thinking, we in law enforcement, our job is to attack problems with handcuffs and punishment.
Oh, sure.
Excuse me. And, in my opinion, and I know many others, that doesn't work. It's also very expensive, and it has a pretty drastic impact on families on all sides of the equation. And so I always thought there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a different way to stop this stuff. And so I'm a true believer that it is preventable, but you have to attack it from the root. So a lot of times we see problems and we try to attack the problem, behaviors. The kid's behaving bad, it's a problem. But what causes the behavior? So we're not going after the root of the issue in most instances. And so the idea was to really tackle this using a multi-pronged approach. And so I got connected with a lot of good people, great people, and then was introduced to a study called the ACEs study. If you ever heard about that, but it was life-changing for me. It changed my perspective in an instant upon reading just a couple snippets about it. And I thought everything makes sense, what we're dealing with, the behaviors, the crime. I think trauma is the common denominator among all these things. Excuse me. So anyway, I started asking juveniles out in the street through calls for service, what's it going to take to keep you guys out of trouble? What do you guys like to do? And the common responses were, there's nothing to do. And
that's the truth.
And it's sports.
I mean,
and we
a lot
like
of
music.
time.
We like to rap and write stuff. And it's like, okay, so why don't we just create a platform for them to do that? Because that way we know they're going to come if that's what they want to do. If that's get it straight from the horse's mouth, And so as we did, we got with the right people, hooked up with some folks from UNI, from the Center for Violence Prevention, and the UNI football team. And then the name came from just kind of how it relates back to, the Hail Mary pass in football.
Oh.
The odds of that being successful are pretty slim, And so when we look at the target population that we're dealing with, where a lot of them have come from single-parent households, absent fathers, living in poverty, living in having high ACE scores, the odds of them getting out and being successful, the odds are stacked against them.
Right.
If we're going to be honest.
It's not an even playing field.
Right.
What has the response been like as far as young people wanting to get involved?
At first there was a lot of resistance, I think, because people thought it was the police department's doing this. I think given the families that we have a lot of contact with, they have no reason to, hey, police, come, come into my house, see what's going on with us. For generations, we sit there and the calls for service that involve their families end up putting somebody in jail and ultimately somebody in prison. So there's naturally that distrust. And so When word got out where I worked, the guy behind all this was a cop. People were apprehensive naturally, but it didn't take long before momentum kind of took a swing in our direction.
Good. And how many do you have and where do they meet?
Currently, we have 40 kids enrolled. Since last February, we've had, I think, 70 altogether, and that's in 2 collective sessions. Right now, we're doing basketball Monday and Wednesday evenings at Cunningham Elementary.
Okay.
So we do basketball from 5 to about 7, and then we have a curriculum that we do, an evidence-based curriculum called Coaching Boys into Men, and that surrounds respect, integrity, nonviolence. And the idea is just to have a platform where you get a group of student athletes together and you talk about certain issues that they're inevitably dealing with or will deal with at some time, but it involves them in the dialogue, asking them questions and running through hypothetical situations.
And do you need volunteers?
We've been needing volunteers for the better part of a year.
And how can people talk to you or connect with you to volunteer? Or to tell people about your project?
Yeah, so anybody who is interested, I'll tell you, it's a big commitment. It's 3 hours, twice a week if you're interested in that. It's a very
That's
intensive, which is I'm pretty sure that's probably why we're not getting people lining up around the block, because time is probably the most valuable thing that we have. And a lot of us have families and other obligations going on. So basically it's a sports-based mentoring is what it is. So when we get done with the curriculum, then we provide supper for them too. So
Okay.
So one of the things when Justin first came to talk about the program with me, is a couple phrases, proactive versus reactive. Also value added, seeing the value in every young person, regardless of where you live, regardless of your home situation. It is seeing value in every young person and knowing that you have potential. And it's just more than just words. It's actually getting there, getting engaged, working with people because you know that they have value, they have potential. And then last but not least, children become engaged too because they can start to see your heart. So they take away maybe what you look like or what your career is,
Yes.
and they start to see your heart because they know that you're there and that you're advocating for them. So those were 3 things that really stuck out to me. And you have no choice but to support this program because it's supporting people. So we absolutely thank Justin for his vision and all the work that he's put into this and the support that he's been given around the community.
Yes, and I think it was Chris Jones that recommended you to be on our show, and we certainly thank him for contacting us and telling us about the Hail Mary Project. And of course, we're glad that you guys were able to work together and get this thing started. And we'll make sure that we get your website on our wall after your appearance.
We're on Facebook as well, so you can just do a search for Hail Mary Project and it'll pop up too. So, and then send a private message or my email is justin@hailmaryproject.org.
Okay.
It's pretty easy to remember.
Great. Well, keep doing what makes you awesome, because that's it.
Thank you.
It makes a difference. You bet. And Chaveevah, we're going to talk to Benjamin now,
Yes.
the Smoky
Yes.
Row Man.
That's right.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit something about Benjamin.
I don't know. Benjamin's complicated. I said, so I started Iodine, which is an art group with my best friend Wesley Boots, and he is the co-founder. And we have been doing this for 5 years, and we've designed from clothing to shows to murals. We're pretty much always doing something that has to do with art, including logos.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also go to college. I'm a father of 3 children,
Oh.
and I
Busy
work for
man.
the school system.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what do you do for the school system? I didn't know about that job.
Oh, I'm a behavioral intervention specialist.
Well-
So I work with children that have behaviors. And like how Justin was saying with the ACEs, it's pretty awesome because it pinpoints, like it gives you pretty much like a broad view of, what's causing a lot of the behaviors that happen. So that's pretty amazing. So I really like that when you brought that up. That was great.
Right.
So talk about the Smoky Row Project. What
Yeah.
gave you the idea? how many artists are involved, just talk about it.
So that's an amazing story. It's really awesome. Okay, so I was sleeping one day, and then I woke up, and I was like, man, I want to start a show in Waterloo, and I want it to be based like New Orleans, like jazz club. So then I started talking about it, and then when I talk about stuff, I start to obsess over it. And then my fiance came up to me and was like, hey, me and Charles, I was on this like ride with Charles Pearson, and he was like taking me around town on this bus, and he was telling me all this crazy stuff about Waterloo. And she was like, you should do your show based off that instead of New Orleans. So I was like, all right, I'll listen to my queen because she's awesome and strong.
Yes,
so then
and she's going to be on our show next month.
Shout out Jamesia.
Yes, Jamesia, you bet.
So I went forward with it, and then
smooth, ain't it?
Yeah.
So I went forward with it, and we started talking about, and I started talking to the WWP, and then we were wondering because we're like, we want the kids to be involved into it, and we want, and we're kind of like family, our companies, how much we work together. So I thought it would be awesome to have it in their building, and so we went there with that. We recruited Charles Pearson, and she had built a Facebook page based off of the history of Waterloo.
I stole a few pictures.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
It blew up too. It was crazy. And I want to emphasize too. It's not the area is not called Smoky Row. It's called Unity, and it's a very small piece of Waterloo, but it's a big history, especially for Waterloo, and we really should know about it.
Yes, you're so right. My whole story wraps around Smoky Row, and a lot of African Americans came via the railroad, and my family came here in 1906. So we were some of the first African Americans to come here. So it was really important to me that you're doing this, and Charles Pearson's efforts as well.
He was involved too.
Oh, of course, and our mayor, obviously. Yes,
I'm a good listener.
And
We
it
got an
shows.
interview with you on the Facebook page as well.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. I watched it. I stalk all of our guests so I can make sure I kind of know what's going on, but I couldn't find your stuff. But Zion, you have comments?
Yes. So, Adria Cookie Poo Smith says, good afternoon.
Okay. Cookie Poo.
Sherry K. Zion says, Ben, we miss you at Bunger.
All right.
Oh, man.
Cool. So you have this event, and why don't you tell us what the event is going to involve and and what people need to know about it? You're selling tickets, that kind of information.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take you on a journey.
Right.
Okay, you got about 30 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. We'll give you
Are
2
you kidding?
minutes.
Okay.
No, really, right? No, because, Ed likes to go home. It's the weekend.
Right.
But yeah, we'll give you another 3 minutes.
So you go in, and when you get to the door, it's kind of like you're waiting there. Then I'll introduce Charles Pearson onto stage, and then Charles Pearson will come and do his thing. And if you know him, he does his thing and he puts it down. So after he gets off of the stage, and the scenery is beautiful, we have tables and chairs, and the whole room is just decorated. When you walk in, it's not even going to look like the WWP.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Once he gets up on stage and does his thing, he'll have a question and answer afterwards. So if anybody has any questions about the show or anything, about Waterloo history, he'll be able to answer it. And then he'll step off, and then we'll have the children from the WWP, which they're high school to college age. They're going to be coming up and doing their whole spoken word thing. And if you've heard them, they are amazing. They're something else.
They are amazing.
So after they go down, we have Nia Shindig, and she will do a performance. And this whole time, we're playing jazz music. We have appetizers. We have our people walking around with the trays, and we'll pass them out to people because our customers are important. And while all this is going on, we have an art show and is displaying all of art based off of Smoky Row and based off of Waterloo history.
So it's art and history combined.
Coming alive.
Our whole thing is
And
we want to have
performance.
art integration in everything that Waterloo does, and we want to put Waterloo on the map. And if we can't be the best in the world, like Charles Pearson says, then we want to be the best in, the tri-state area at least.
Of course, yes. Wow, that sounds like a don't miss kind of thing. And anybody that's interested in the history of Waterloo definitely should be there.
I have to say, like my co-founder Wesley Buss says, this is he says, this is an art show with a purpose.
All right. Very well put. And you have a piece that you'd like to show, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right. And this is actually your depiction of the 4th Street riots back in 1968, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very powerful piece.
It is. It is. Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about it there. We're gonna, if you go up to one of the people who are vendoring at the show, they will give you an explanation of exactly like, what happened and the emotions that we're trying to hit with this type of painting.
Wow, that's it. That's emotional. Yes, comments, Zion.
Chris Jones says, proud of you all and thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you, Chris, for the
Yeah.
referral.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. All right. Oh, and I think you had something to give away, but we didn't get to that far, so I guess I get to have it. Right?
See, I tried to put my bid in early. I was like,
Since I'm sitting next to you, so no. Did you want to give away? How about? Do you have a trivia question, Chaveevah? We can ask for one question before we go, and somebody
Yes.
better answer it quick. I bet
okay,
you-
real quick, okay? Who owns
Isn't that beautiful?
Who owns the clothing store at the corner of East 4th Street and Dane?
I
Boom.
Cues.
know. Lori, we're asking our
Is it
viewers.
just cues?
Oh,
Big Q.
yes. Answer
Doctor.
that question.
Doctor.
Answer
Quentin
that
Richardson.
question,
Can
and
I
we'll
win
give you
that?
another
Right.
hint. We'll see
I
if we
know,
don't get
see?
a response here.
I'm trying to win too.
The first person, and we'll give you a hint. We did our show there once.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you don't get it before we say goodbye, which you probably won't, is anybody answering, Zion?
No one has.
Okay, so we will check you out afterwards, and we'll let you know who wins it. In the meantime, I'll keep the T-shirt.
I don't know, Miss Lori. That was kind of.
I know. I just discounted her right now. Oh,
she just
look at
gave the
her doing
answer. Woo!
right here in the studio. But does she qualify, Mayor?
Yeah.
If no one
Oh,
else
see?
has answered in the last.
Oh, that's right. Okay, whatever.
Guess I will leave it with
Seriously.
you.
But I'm not in it.
And they wonder why I drink.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Okay.
You get groupie and I get played. I
Okay, so we got all these people in the studio. But what we want to say is,
Always. Keep doing what makes you awesome because it makes us
all look good.
Yes,
All right.
indeed.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us.